This Ford Pop has only done 58 miles from new. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. 58 miles? That's unbelievable. Now, this is what I thought when I first got it. But how about you watch this video and you can make your mind up for yourself. So I purchased this car around 8 months ago now. It was advertised on eBay with not a very good description, not very good photos, and a brief story about the genuine low mileage. I didn't really believe it, but I jumped in my car, I drove off to Birmingham, I viewed it, and that is when my opinion changed. So, the story goes like this. In 1954, this car was purchased brand new by a car garage. The car garage decided to dip their toes into the world of hiring cars out, just like you can do nowadays. If you don't want to own a car, or for whatever reason, you can hire a car for the day, for the week, however long. Now, this guy that hired the car for the first time crashed it. He lost control and he ended up rolling the car down a ditch. The car was then recovered back to the car garage, where they obviously thought, well, we need to repair it. You just couldn't scrap a car when it was that new. I imagine the garage were probably struggling for money, and the best thing to do was to repair it. Now, luckily, back in 1954 or 55, whenever this was, you could still buy parts directly from Ford. So a brand new body shell was purchased, and the mission began of swapping all the parts and running gear from the original car over to the new body shell. Now, for whatever reason, the car was never finished. The body shell was built up, the interior was fitted, the engine, everything else was done, but the car wasn't fully finished and didn't return back to the road. Now again, for whatever reason, the car was then pushed into a barn, into a garage, where it then sat until last year. Now, if my maths is correct, now maths is not my strong point, but I make that around 70 years in a garage. Now that's 70 years sat in a garage with only 11 miles on the clock. That's just unbelievable. And I agree, it is unbelievable. So let's take a closer look at the car, and then you can make up your own mind. So let's start things off with the interior and some of the features of the car that kind of verify the low mileage. So we're going to start with the stickers. Now, as you can see here on the window, we have a sticker which has clearly been on there a long time. Oops, get it in focus. Which apparently was sort of a quality control sticker. Now, that has not been stuck on there recently. I can definitely guarantee that. And as we go over to this side, we have another one on the back, and you can also see the word quality there. So these two stickers are clearly old. They've clearly been on there for a long time, and they kind of back up, well, that was obviously something it had on when it left the factory. We then look under the seats, and we have these marvellous little tags, which admittedly would stay on there for quite a while because they don't get that much wear and tear, but they're in lovely condition, and they're another thing that kind of adds to the originality. But the condition of the interior is what does it for me. The seats are absolutely spotless. There's no sag in the leather, there's no wear, there's no scuffs, and the rubber mats. Now the rubber mats, obviously we've got a little bit of dirt down there because I've been driving it. I've done a total of 58 miles. But look at these rubber mats. There's no wear on anything. The back seat, it is untouched, it is unsat on. Look at all the sort of, whether these are card or what, interior trimming. It's absolutely perfect all round the car. And if we go down into this sort of footwells, the pedals, there's tread on them, as you may call it. There's no wear. The clutch pedal, the same. There's no wear. The accelerator, there's no wear. It's got all its grooves on it. There's no sort of marks where someone's foot has been for a long time. And again, back to the sort of cardboard interior matting, it's just fantastically clean. No scuffs, no rips. That's your sort of key to unlock the boot. And again, over that side, look at that. That has not been replaced. That is original 70 odd year old interior. And onto the dashboard, we can see the mileage is on 58. The steering wheel, one thing is worth pointing out now, because I'm sure people have noticed, the car would have never had indicators. The guy before me, which I'll tell you a little bit about in a minute, fitted indicators. So that's why it has indicators on the outside, and that's what this has been added for, obviously, to control the indicators. So yeah, back to the car. Look at this dash. It's perfectly patinaed through 70 years in a garage. Nothing has been added. Nothing has been taken off. And the steering wheel itself, there's nowhere at all. And it all backs up the low mileage. Let's not forget the headliner, which again is absolutely beautiful. No rips, no damage, just discoloration of all those years sat untouched in a garage. Every single bit of trim is just in perfect condition. So I think we can all agree that the interior is in fantastic original condition, and real Ford fans will know that this is all original. Nothing has been changed with new or reproduction parts. So let's go back a little bit and tell you a little bit more history on the car quickly. So I'm not sure who it was that dragged the car out of the garage. I have got his phone number and he has explained more of this story to me to kind of back it up. He dragged it out of the garage a year or so ago. He then sold it to an old chap in Birmingham. Now, the old chap in Birmingham is who I got the car from. Now, the original guy that dragged it out of the garage apparently knew the family who owned the car at the car garage, and he was lucky enough to drag it out of the garage. Now, I have got a couple of photos as it was found, and these are the photos right here. So that's when it was first pulled out of the garage, and here's a couple of, the mileage and whatever else. So the guy that pulled it out, he wanted to hot rod it. He wanted to build a hot rod. Obviously, this car is way too good to hot rod. It would look quite cool, but yeah, it would ruin it. So he sold it on. He sold it on to the chap in Birmingham, who was an elderly gentleman who had this amazing workshop down the side of his house. And this guy is the guy that completely recommissioned it. Obviously, for a car that's not that's not driven in 70 years, he had to do everything. The engine was sort of partially seized, which he apparently unseized quite easily. The interior was pretty much black through dust. The exterior, it was just covered in dust, covered in dirt. He had to replace all the brakes. He's done a new fuel tank. He got the wheels powder coated, new tyres. What else did he do? He fitted the indicators, as I mentioned, and he basically recommissioned the car and got it up and running. He also fitted LED lights, and the indicators are also LED. All still 6-volt, but LED. So he kind of got this car ready to be used again. And I think he did something silly like 6 miles in it, just round the block. I don't think he dared put the mileage up, and I kind of don't dare either, although I have done, about 40 of its total miles. But yeah, so that's the kind of history of the car. So let's now have a look at the exterior. So one of the first things I want to show you is this lovely little sticker on there. Now we can see the LED bulb inside there, which obviously isn't original, but as I just said, the old guy upgraded the lights. 24 something. Now that's obviously a part sticker, from when it was also new. So that's another nice small feature to back up its originality. Now, obviously, we've had a general look at the exterior, but what I want to kind of point out now, there's an old boy in my village that I know, Jerry, shout out to Jerry, who's a painter. He's been a painter his whole life and is a very, very knowledgeable man. Now, he came and had a look at the car, and what he pointed out was the shell was severely rusted and patinaed, which kind of suggests that the shell was painted separately and backs up the story that the shell is not original to the car. Whereas the bonnet and the wings of the car are a lot smoother. They don't have that similar deep pitted patina like the shell does, which suggests that the other panels from the car were that of the original car, not the replacement shell. Apart from this wing. Now there are some small areas of red paint on this wing, which suggest that this wing has been replaced. Now, Jerry the sprayer said to me in his Scottish accent,
"Freddie, I think the car's rolled. I think from what I can see, it's tipped to the right-hand side, because that wing's not original."
Thank you for that, Jerry. Yeah, so we think the car rolled on its right wing and then onto its roof, which would have obviously damaged the right wing and, of course, the shell. So they're the panels that we think have been replaced. So let's have a look at the engine. So you might think this is a little bit underwhelming. You're expected to see what looked like a brand new engine under there. But what you've got to remember is this car sat for the best part of 70 years. So everything would have deteriorated just through sitting. And that's why everything is sort of pitted and surface rusty, but not necessarily worn. Now, the chap from Birmingham also, rebuilt the carb, put the new leads on it, put a new coil on it, a brand new 6-volt battery, all the things you'd do to get it up and running. Now, what he did actually do, which is a little bit scary and I probably should change, is he even left the original fan belt on there. I have got a spare, guys, don't panic. And this is the other side of the engine. Again, it is completely original. So let's fire it up. So the starting process, if I can get in without knocking the camera over. Obviously make sure you're not in gear, you've got ignition on. Another thing it's got is an electric fuel pump. He gave me the original fuel pump too, but I guess it's just a little upgrade. Ignition on, starter button. And there we go. It purrs into life. Obviously, we've also got the old-fashioned way, which is the old crank start. Hang on a second. There we go. So, whether you believe me or don't believe me, or whether I believe myself or don't believe myself, what we can't deny is this is a really original Ford Pop. Now, I just don't think that somebody would have made up such a far-fetched story on a car. It's clearly low mileage. Whether it's done 58 miles or 5,000 miles, it's clearly low mileage. Now, would someone really have wound the clock back to 11 miles, which is what it was on when it was found, and make up this elaborate story? Would someone really have stuck these stickers in the window and ripped a bit out to make it look like it was old? I just don't think so. I think the photos of it when it's found, I think the condition of the interior, I think all the story it adds up. And I have absolutely no reason to disbelieve it. So you can make your own mind up. So I hope you've enjoyed my video and I hope you've made your mind up. Good day to you.